There's something happening in the creative industry right now that I think a lot of people are feeling, but not necessarily so many people are talking about, or maybe they are. Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi. There are more photographers, videographers, content creators, designers than there has ever been at any point in history. Cameras are better, editing tools are better, much more accessible. Education is everywhere. You can literally learn photography, videography, video editing, all of these things from YouTube or online courses. And yet, so many incredibly talented photographers are still struggling to get clients. They're struggling to grow their audience or even make a living from their work, from what they do. So, what's actually going on? That's what we need to talk about. So, here's the reality. Right now, over 200 million people globally call themselves creators. 200 million. That is a lot of people with cameras. And obviously, it's not only people with cameras that are creators, but whatever. Moving on. But here's the interesting part. The top 10% of creators right now receive about 62% of brand payments. Meanwhile, many creators struggle to monetize at all, or they're dissatisfied with the income that they're making. So what that means is talent is abundant, but attention is very scarce. It's the new currency. And that sort of mismatch is causing chaos across the industry. Now, before anybody panics and like gives up on creating and everything, don't worry. I actually think this is one of the most interesting times to be a creative, but it does mean that the rules of the game have changed. For a long time, creatives were told that something very simple when it comes to creating: just be talented, do excellent work, and post your content. Your people will find you, opportunities will come. But the reality today is a little bit different, because when millions of people can create great work, talent isn't necessarily the differentiator anymore. So let me just basically put it this way: 10 years ago, being a good photographer was good enough. You just had to improve your skills. Meanwhile, today, everybody is good. Everyone has access to the same cameras. Everyone can learn editing. Everyone can download presets. Oh, and by the way, I have presets for sale. I'm linking them in the description down below. Shameless plug. The thing that basically separates creators today is not just talent, it's actually visibility. So, how many people can actually see you? And visibility is a completely different skill from being a creative. It's more about positioning, it's about storytelling. I mean, your creativity can come in ways like this. It is mostly about building trust with your audience, and it's about helping people understand why you actually matter. A lot of creators are incredibly skilled, but they're still approaching their careers as purely as artists. Let's call it that. But the industry today rewards creators that can think as strategists or thinking like strategists. And this is something I've noticed a lot, especially working in both the marketing field and the creative world as well. Many creatives focus almost entirely on their craft, which kind of makes sense because that's the fun part, obviously. Learning lighting is fun, buying new gear is fun, taking your friends out to take pictures is fun, editing pictures for mid-long hours, maybe not as fun because you tend to edit for like 12 hours straight, but that's by the way. But the part that most people tend to avoid is the strategy side, or most creatives tend to avoid. Things like, how do people discover you? What problems does your work solve? What makes your perspective unique? What makes you different from the next person? Why should someone hire you instead of the thousand or tens of $1,000 photographers that they can find online? They just have to impute the right things, and the other photographers have to have amazing SEO, and then they picked over you. So these questions are genuinely uncomfortable, but they're incredibly important. And the creators who answer them are the ones that are standing out right now. Now, on top of that, there are a few other major shifts happening, in the industry that are going to shape next 5 years for creatives. What I think is the first one is oversaturation. There are simply more creatives competing for attention than ever before. The barrier to entering the creative industry has dropped dramatically, which is amazing because it means more people can create, of course. But it also means that standing out requires more intention, and oversaturation is very very likely, which is what's already happening. The second shift is attention scarcity. Again, already happening. We are all competing for the same limited resource, people's time, people's attention. That's the new currency right now. Like I mentioned earlier, people are scrolling much faster and consuming more media than ever. So that means that capturing attention has become a skill in itself. So you need to learn hooks. You need to learn how to keep people watching your videos, how to keep people coming back. The third shift, which is again already happening, is AI. And AI tools are already transforming the creative industry, editing, image processing, marketing, design generation, all of those things. AI, those things used to take how hours. Now AI can do those things in minutes, even seconds. And while that can be scary, it also means that the value of human perspective is also has also become extremely important. And that is the leverage that you have of artificial intelligence. Your story, your ideas, your voice, those things AI can never replicate. Or maybe they will. But right now, that is what you can sell. The fourth shift is monetization pressure. A lot of creatives want to monetize their content now. As they enter the industry, more people are competing for the same brand budgets and the same client opportunities. So that means that creators tend to be more competitive, need to be more competitive in that markets, and they need to become more strategic about how they position themselves for the brands and claiming the budgets, of course, and it's really values. And the fifth shift is something I think about a lot. I've noticed that a lot of creatives are incredibly talented. Like I mentioned that 10 times this video, but they don't approach their careers with long-term strategy. They create good work, but they don't build systems, which is what helps you build long term. They put a lot of creators post content, um, maybe they don't build audience relationships. You see people trying to chase products, like do collaborations, but they don't build brand. And in today's world, building a creative career is not just about being talented anymore. It's about being intentional. It's about building systems. It's about being strategic. The good news is that creators who learn strategy, marketing, positioning, brand building, and audience building are going to stand out much more than ever. Because when most people are just posting content, the people who think deeply about their work become extremely visible. So if you're a creative watching this and you feel like the industry is crowded or competitive or insanely ridiculous right now, you're not wrong. But the competition isn't necessarily a bad thing in itself. It just means that creators need to pivot. It means that we need to think strategically to rise to the top. And it's like I said, the creators that actually do think strategically that will end up rising to the top. Before, talent used to be the differentiator. Today, it's about strategy. And the sooner creatives understand that, the more powerful their careers will eventually become. Thank you very much for watching today's video. If this really helped you and you think it's going to be helpful for someone else, please feel free to share it to them. Don't forget to hit like and hit subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Mwah! Bye.